Mercury had an issue in the early 1970s. You see, Ford had the Mustang II in the pipeline, and it was a downsized Mustang. Now, this became an issue for Mercury because the Cougar had always been based on the Mustang. It was an upscale version of the Mustang. Mercury didn't have room in their lineup for another compact car. They had the imported Capri, and they had the Bobcat. So for 1974, Mercury decided to drop the Cougar on the Montego Torino platform to make it larger and to lean in on the luxury aspects of the car. Now my question is, was this a good move? Would dropping the convertible negatively affect sales? Also, all this was happening during the oil crisis of the early 1970s. So how would that affect sales numbers? Well, let's take a look at the third generation Mercury Cougar, and then we can try to answer those questions at the end of the video. In September of 1973, Mercury introduced the third generation Cougar XR7 as a 1974 model. The new Cougar gained 2 inches of wheelbase and 15 inches in overall length. This would be the first body-on-frame constructed Cougar. The new Cougar shared many of the Mercury Montego Ford Torino body lines, as that was the platform it was based on. The front fascia, however, was very unique. It featured a large center waterfall grille, which was flanked by 4 side-by-side headlamps. These were housed in chrome bezels with black accents and housed wraparound turn signals. The 5-mile-per-hour front impact bumper featured standard bumper guards, and to top it off, there was a prowling cat hood ornament. All Cougars shared lower body side moldings that merged with wheel lip guards. Bright trim work began at the fender seam at the top of the turn signal indicator and proceeded along the top of the fender, terminating at the vinyl roof trim. All Cougars came standard with a Landau vinyl roof and opera windows. The rear of the Cougar featured what appeared to be a full-width tail lamp, but were 2 combination wraparound tail light / turn signal and backup lamp housings divided by a reflective panel that was used to hide the Cougar's fuel cap. Mercury used vertical chrome bezels over the tail lamps that was reminiscent of the first generation Cougar tail lamps. The rear bumper was the 5-mile-per-hour impact bumper with bumper guards. 4 power plants were available in the new Cougar. The 165 horsepower, 351 cubic inch 2-barrel V8 was the standard engine. Optional engines included the 255 horsepower, 351 cubic inch 4-barrel carbureted Cobra Jet V8, the 170 horsepower, 400 cubic inch 2-barrel V8, and the 245 horsepower, 460 cubic inch V8. All power plants were mated to a 3-speed automatic transmission. The standard equipment list on the Cougar was plentiful. Items not already mentioned included power steering and front disc brakes, steel belted tires, performance instrumentation, bucket seats and a console, 25-ounce pile carpeting, and side marker lights. Optional equipment included twin bench comfort seating, leather seating surfaces, a full vinyl roof, dual racing mirrors, automatic temperature control air conditioning, power windows and locks, tilt steering wheel, speed control, illuminated visor mirrors, a traction lock rear axle, leather wrapped steering wheel, AM/FM multiplex 4-speaker stereo, AM/FM multiplex 8-track, multiple wheel covers, and Magnum 500 steel style wheels and white wall tires. The automotive press was relatively kind to the Cougar, calling it a worthy rival to the Chevy Monte Carlo and the Pontiac Grand Prix. The American buying public embraced the new Cougar, with Mercury dealers delivering 91,670 Cougars for the 1974 model year. That was a 30,000 increase over the 1973 model.
It's restless, it's civilized, it's challenging, it's serene. Cougar. Mercury Cougar XR7, an uncommonly luxurious breed of personal car for 75, just as unique in its own class as Continental Mark IV, with the rich feel of glove-soft vinyl on deeply padded bucket seats, with a full array of instruments clustered for easy viewing. Luxury features have become a tradition with Cougar, with optional moonroof, sure-footed steel-belted radio tires that ride on radio-tuned suspension, poised opera window, bold classic grille. Mercury Cougar XR7.
Cougar, it's like nobody else's car. Cougar.
At the sign of the cat.
1975 brought minor revisions to the Cougar. The 351 Cleveland and the 351 Cobra Jet were both replaced with a 2-barrel carbureted 148 horsepower 351M. The front bumper changed slightly with 2 oval airlets added below the grille, and Mercury added a power moonroof to the option list. There were no other changes of note. Mercury dealers saw a slight drop in sales, delivering 62,987 Cougars for the 1975 model year. 1976 brought only minor changes to the Cougar. The full-width bench seat was now standard, with the 60/40 split bench and bucket seats and console becoming options. There were no other changes of note. Mercury dealers delivered 83,765 Cougars for the 1976 model year. So there you have it, the third generation Mercury Cougar. This was a difficult video to put together. One, I have a cold, so that didn't help any. But two, there's just not a lot of information on this generation Cougar. The one to have, if you ask me, is the 1974 with the 351 Cobra Jet engine. Those cars, however, are extremely rare. There's a little less than 3,000 of them built. Now, at the beginning of the video, I asked if this was a good move for Mercury. Did this make sense to get the Cougar away from the Mustang and put it more towards, say, the Thunderbird? And in retrospect, you have to say, yes, this was the only move for Mercury. They already had the Capri, which was doing relatively well, and they had the Bobcat as well, so there wasn't room for another small Cougar. They couldn't have a Cougar 2, if you would. The next generation, the fourth generation of Cougar, was one of their most successful ever, and that also points to, yes, this is a great move for Mercury. I go over that car in great detail in a video. You can check that out right over here. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button. That helps other folks see it. Also, consider subscribing to the channel. I have a lot of content like this on the channel. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you.